What's up, Couscous Empire? Here today with another deck profile on one of the leaders I've been having a lot of success with and a lot of fun with, which is Launch. Before we get into the video, I'll be posting the deck list link down below in the description, so you could go ahead and click on it and look at it right now if you want. But just like that helps you out, it also helps me out if you guys subscribe to the channel and leave the video running. I would appreciate that big time. You can follow through with me as I go through the deck and tell you guys more about it. So reading Launch, she's a really unique leader. She does not draw when she attacks, but instead once per turn when you combo, draw one card. And this could be on any combo, keep that in mind, not just the leader swing, but any combo, any turn. And then her secondary part, when a card is flipped face up in your life, you get to flip her over and draw one card. Notice how it does not say awaken, so she never awakens. In fact, on the back side, you don't even see the awaken symbol on the top left. So she never awakens, but instead, whenever you flip a card face up, you just get to flip the leader. And her backside is very similar to the front. When you combo, you get to draw one card, but also when you flip a card face up, you get to flip it back to the unawakened side and draw one card again. In addition to that, whenever she attacks, she could choose any card and give it minus 5k power. It does not matter if it's a Unison, a battle card, anything, any opponent's card, give it minus 5k. So the whole theme with her is you're gonna flip a life face up, awaken, flip a life face up on your opponent's turn, unawaken, and you're just gonna keep drawing one, draw one, draw one, draw one. So right away you see with the mulligan strategies, our secret tech, we got the Vegito Unison, the secret rare that nobody plays. I think this is the perfect deck to finally play this Unison in and try to see if it really has a place in the meta or not. We're gonna see some more cards that really fit with the strategy, but on top of the Vegito Unison, you want to mulligan hard for this Launch the Pure-Hearted. This card is the key to the deck where it's gonna make your engine going. Every time you combo with her, you draw one card from your leader ability. When you combo, draw a card. And then this combo card says when you combo with it, flip a life face up, and now your leader triggers awaken, so you get to awaken with your leader and draw one card again. And on top of that, the activate battle for this card is so good. It says when this card is in the drop area and your leader is at 5k only, so it's the front side of your leader, you get to combo with it from your drop area for free. So if this card is in your drop area and your leader is unawakened, you get to combo with it, draw one from my leader ability, and then awaken, draw another card again. So now the Vegito strategy, how are we gonna pull this card off? Well, we're playing with this Rainbow 3 set right here. We got the Son Goku Saiyan Instincts 3 of, Android 18, and Son Goten Family of Justice. We're getting one of each color, and we only need 3 to 4 of each one because the leader itself draws so much. Every time you flip, every time you combo, you're just drawing non-stop. So it's very easy to get these cards. And in addition to that, you could combo with these cards from your hand and trigger your leader ability to draw a card as well. So it synergizes really well. I found the best splashable yellow card to be Saiyan Instincts, the best splashable blue one to be Android 18, and then the best green one to be Son Goten Family of Justice. If you have better suggestions for that, by all means go for it. I've tried Infernal Villainy Cell instead of the Son Goten, but I think Son Goten is better because this deck does struggle a little bit with removal, as we will see. And I know it's only 2 green cards because we're going to play with a little bit more, and that's the power cards for the deck and what we're going to deal damage with. I've been on the Piccolo hype for a while now, playing it with my red-green hit deck, but in addition to just burning and stuff, Piccolo is just an overall really good card for 2 energy. You play him on turn 2, you get to free play a Trunks, and then when you alliance, you draw 2. So it's even more draw power than what you already have with the leader. So you're going to draw with your leader, draw 2 with alliance, you're going to burn them for 1 damage, play Bardock the Resolute on top of that. So you're pushing in for damage in addition to drawing a lot. Piccolo is going to be the main way for you to deal damage and go into the late game. You're going to chip down your opponent with your leader swings as much as you can, and then Piccolo is going to deal 2 to 3 damage every time it swings. It's been working out really well for me. Alright, moving on to the utility and flex cards. Bulma Confident Friend, that's another must-play card for this deck. When you play her, she draws 1 card, and then when you combo with her, she flips one of your life face up, so you get to awaken as well. And I know I keep saying awaken, I should say flip, but you guys get the point. So Bulma and Launch, the 1-drops, they're going to keep triggering your flip a life and awaken ability. On top of that, Bulma works so nice with the Bulma super combo. When you're burning your opponent down, or when you're taking life down yourself and you have a total of 8 life between both players, when you play the Bulma super combo on your turn, you not only draw 1 from the super combo, you draw 1 from leader, and then you could free play the Bulma and draw 1 from her effect as well. So you're drawing about 3 cards with that play, which is, in my opinion, really good. It helps you so much when you're doing that final push for game. The Bulma Unison is also another way for you to flip life face up and face down. She's a blocker, which is pretty nice, but she is a little weak. She's only 1k power. When you play her on turn 1, you get to 2 markers. She dies fairly fast. I don't know how I feel about her yet, but as of now, I like having her in the deck just for means of self-awakening up and down faster. And moving on to the flex cards right there, we got Bodyguard Legic, which in my opinion is really good. It's a free play blocker. Sometimes you tap out to make your plays and you need some defense, right? So Bodyguard Legic fills that gap really well. In addition to that, it's also an alliance body. You know, it's a 15k power added to that Piccolo swing if you need it. Sometimes playing the Trunks is not enough. We want to charge the Trunks to get that green energy sometimes. So Legic works out really well for this deck. Then we got 2 Furthering Destruction Champas. Most of the time with Piccolo, you're going to burn your opponent down to like the 4 life range or maybe even the 2 life range. And sometimes you need that final push, right? It's nice to give Champa on your leader and just go all out on offense. You do your Bulma super combo, play the Bulma 1-drop, give it a Champa. All of a sudden, you just got about like 35k combo power and you lost no cards from your hand. It feels really good. I like 2 of Champa instead of 1 because most of the time, it's gonna be the way you close the game with the leader swing Champa. Then some defensive utility. We got Exploiting Weakness Vegeta. One of the biggest weaknesses with this deck is that it can't control the board state well. Your opponent can go wide and just kind of take over the game, or if they have a lot of blockers on the board, you can't really push through it. So you want Exploiting Weakness to kind of come in and just wipe the board on your opponent's side. On top of that, it could be a defensive counterplay and give your leader that 5k power as well. So now you're a 15k base leader just like every other leader out there. The one of Violent Rays, I put it in there as some tech against stuff like Dark Brawly. So far it hasn't really came up for me, but you could fix that with something else you want. I just went ahead with Violent Rays. So the negates and defense is going to be very important for this deck because most of the time you have a vulnerable board, you have a very vulnerable leader, and aggro is pretty prevalent in the format right now. So Topo is going to help you transition into that mid game really well. If your opponent doesn't have an answer for Topo, you're just going to spam Topos every turn. In the meantime, you're just swinging with Alliance Piccolo, Alliance Piccolo. It works out really well. After Image is a card that you're going to use when you play your Vegito Secret Rare Unison and tap out for it. You're going to try to protect it as much as you can, and you want that After Image just in case they're going to push through and deal damage to it. Most of the time, they can't kill your Unison as early as turn 3 because it's a 25k base, so they're going to have to combo up to 25k for 3-4 markers. It's really hard, but just in case they do, you have that After Image as well. And the Overwhelm slot is Man on a Mission. I know I've been a big fan of Bardock Fighting Fates, and I think they're both really good cards, but for the purposes of this deck, I think Man on a Mission is better because there's so many floodgates out there, and Dormant Potential is a card. It's kind of nice to play this card, swing with it. If they Dormant Potential, you combo up to like 35-40k, and then you swing with Piccolo Alliance to deal the final blow. I think it's better than Fighting Fates, but this could be something that you could change as well. So the overall strengths and weaknesses. The strengths are that the deck draws a ton. When I built this deck, I told myself, all right, if I could draw a ton of cards and I have access to my life, what is a strategy I could play that, you know, guarantees me to win the game? And that's why I'm playing with the Vegito Unison, because prior to this deck, the problem with playing a one trick strategy was that sometimes those cards get stuck in your life or you don't draw it and you're just done. Your deck does nothing. But with launch, you fix that issue because you get access to your life. You flip your life face up and you see what you're going to take from life. So now if my Vegito Unison is stuck in my life, guess what? And I flipped it, I'm going to take that. And so I draw a lot of cards, and I could play that Unison as early as turn 2 or turn 3, start putting markers on it, and just start going in for that triple attack double strike. Also coming with the idea of, you know, drawing a ton is the consistency, right? And we talked a little bit about it, how it doesn't matter where the card is, if it's in your life or it's in your deck, as you draw, you're just gonna see it. Another strength is that it could still play the burn game and burn you down to 2 with the Piccolo Alliance. You know, that Piccolo Alliance is a very strong card as long as they're above 3 life. Every time it swings, even if they counter it, you're gonna Alliance, draw 2 cards, deal 1 auto damage. So it's pretty nice that regardless of their board state, you could burn them down to 1 and eventually bring them down to 2 life and then go for that lethal swing. And unlike most decks lately, instead of this deck going wide, this deck can go tall. So now when you do that final push, you're gonna combo up to 100k easy with the Champa and just try to win the game that way. So the weaknesses of the deck, obvious one, the leader is weak. It's a 5k bit front and a 10k backside. So you're kind of struggling to combo over. It takes damage very easy. Despite you drawing a lot, you're gonna take a lot of damage early on. It's a pretty weak leader. Board control is not that good. Red does not have much access to removal. So if your opponent goes wide, if they're free playing a bunch of cards, if they're playing a lot of blockers, it's gonna be really, really bad. Then that kind of transitions into the next one. It can't break through defense. Yeah, so if you're playing against Sin Shenron, or if you're playing against the Bulma leader, and they just have a ton of blockers on the board, a ton of defenses with dormant potential, it just can't push through as easy as other decks. So that's another one of the weaknesses of this deck. You're getting 1 to 2 attacks, solid strong attacks, but it's only 1 to 2 of them, and it has a tough time breaking through if your opponent has good defenses for it. And on the other hand, it does not have a good defense back. You do play with topos and after images, which are great, but they're not hard negates. You know, your opponent can have an answer to topo. They could bloodlust it. Now they could play the Trunks counterplay. So topo is as good as it is, it's not always guaranteed. And after image is another one where yes, you're sparking negating it and gaining 40k power, but if you're in a game state where you're in trouble and your opponent can push through that 40k, they will push through it. So the defenses for the deck are not as solid, and that's another one of the weaknesses. But overall, I give this deck a A+ as a fun deck. It's been super fun for me. I love playing it. The idea of flipping a life, oh, that's in my life now? Okay, cool. I'm gonna take something else. And drawing cards nonstop, combo, awaken, draw, combo again, draw again. It's so much fun comboing a bunch of stuff and just drawing a lot of cards. So that's why I'm giving it an A+ deck. But competitively, it is not as strong as I wish it would be. So I'm giving it a B grade. I think it's a very matchup dependent deck. It can't push through some of these really defensive decks. Dormant Potential is a very strong card, and when they play it, they kill your Piccolo. So because of that, I'm giving it a B grade, but that does not mean the deck is bad. The deck can totally win locals. It could totally perform really well at a regional here and there. It's a very fun, good deck. I just don't see it being meta warping or one of the top tier decks. So let me know what you guys think, and I'm curious to see what your guys' take is on launch. If you want to see me play the deck on Twitch, I'll be streaming tonight as well as Friday night with launch. I'm going to play test her a little bit more, get used to her. I'll be streaming on twitch.tv/EmperorCouscous 7:30 p.m. PST till 10. So come by and check it out, and I'll see you next time.